Under the relentless sun, Colin and Leslie Robson toil in their back garden. Each thrust of their spades sends up puffs of dust, the air thick with anticipation. Suddenly, a resounding thud echoes through the garden, halting their digging. The brothers exchange glances, a mix of surprise and excitement lighting up their faces. Hope flickers in their eyes as they realize they've unearthed something significant beneath the soil. The mystery of what lies buried deep in the Robsons' back garden heightens. In the Robsons' back garden, two boys kneel in the dirt, their hands eagerly digging. Charles strikes something solid beneath the surface. With bated breath, they unearth two crude stone heads, their eyes widening with excitement. The boys lean closer, examining the strange artifacts. A shared look of triumph passes between them, a silent acknowledgement of their extraordinary find. The boys stand proudly, presenting their grim trophies to their mother, Mary. Mary looks at the heads, a visible shudder rippling through her as the reality sinks in. Reluctantly, Mary extends her hands, a mix of horror and maternal duty etched on her face. With a deep breath, Mary accepts the heads, the weight of the moment heavy in her hands. A silent acknowledgement passes between mother and sons, binding them in a shared, unsettling act. In the Robsons' living room, an eerie silence hangs heavy, broken only by the sight of the heads on the mantelpiece. An ominous sound cuts through the stillness. Footsteps draw nearer, each beat heightening the tension. The heads seem to turn slightly. A palpable sense of dread fills the room. The hallway is silent, shadows dancing in the dim light. A locked door creaks open, defying its constraints. The door continues to open wider, as if beckoning someone into the unknown. The hallway remains still, waiting for what comes next. In the dim light of the living room, Mary stands frozen, her senses on high alert. Faint whispers echo through the room, heightening the tension. Unseen, unheard, one of the mounted heads on the wall turns slightly, its gaze now fixed ominously on Mary. Mary remains still, unaware of the silent watcher. The Robsons' house stands isolated as neighborhood dogs bark and growl, creating an atmosphere of unease. A chorus of canine aggression fills the air, hinting at unseen tensions within the seemingly quiet neighborhood. Adding to the unsettling symphony, cats hiss menacingly at the windows, their eyes gleaming with hostility. The Robsons' house becomes a focal point of animalistic animosity, suggesting deeper, hidden conflicts. A silent observer lurks across the street, his gaze fixed on the Robsons' home. Inside, chaotic lights flicker and dance, painting the walls with shadows. The erratic shadows writhe and stretch, hinting at turmoil. Across the street, the neighbor remains, a silent sentinel, watching the unfolding drama. A pungent, earthy odor fills the Robsons' home, heavy and unsettling. The source of the stench seems to emanate from the mantelpiece, drawing attention. A closer look reveals nothing overtly amiss, yet the smell intensifies. The air itself seems thick with an unseen presence, heightening the sense of unease. The mundane setting belies the growing sense of dread that permeates the house. The foul smell lingers, a constant reminder of something hidden and foul. Colin awakens abruptly, his face soaked with tears, terror gripping his heart. He stares, transfixed, at the shadowed corner of his room, his body trembling uncontrollably. His voice cracks as he whispers, "I saw a hairy man in the corner." The room is silent, heavy with the weight of his fear. He cowers, pulling the covers up to his chin, seeking a shield against the unseen. Leslie's room is shrouded in shadow, the darkness amplifying the fear in her eyes. Clutching the blanket, she begins to recount the terrifying encounter that has shaken her to her core. Her voice trembles as she whispers, It was like a hairy man, but not quite." Leslie's eyes widen further as she describes the creature, half human, half beast. Her voice drops to a terrified whisper as she concludes, "And its eyes, they glowed red, a terrifying red." Inside the kitchen, Mary moves with a chilling focus, her every action laced with dark intent. With deliberate care, Mary places the heads inside the cupboard. The cupboard becomes a silent tomb, concealing the gruesome contents within. She closes the door, sealing the secret behind the wooden barrier. The lock clicks, a final act of concealment that echoes in the otherwise silent kitchen. Mary stands back, the locked cupboard a monument to her dark deed. The Robsons' living room awakens as morning sunbeams illuminate dancing dust motes. Undisturbed, the mantelpiece gleams, polished to perfection, a silent testament to order, aligned like trophies. The heads stare blankly ahead, their glass eyes reflecting the sterile light. Each polished surface reflects the cold, unyielding order of the Robson household. The arrangement is still, the air thick with unspoken history. The scene presents a tableau of eerie calm, a stark contrast to the secrets it holds. Robson's house stands silent as local academics approach, their expressions a mix of curiosity and unease. Each step towards the house seems heavy with unspoken questions and cautious anticipation. They pause at the edge of the property, their eyes drawn to the details of the seemingly ordinary home. A collective breath is held as they prepare to breach the threshold into the unknown within Robson's walls. The sunlight casts long shadows, deepening the sense of mystery surrounding the unassuming residence. A shared glance passes between the academics, a silent acknowledgement of the apprehension and intrigue that binds them. In the softly lit academic office, an archaeologist's brow furrows in deep concentration. He delicately lifts one of the ancient heads, its stone surface cool against his skin. Turning the artifact over, he searches for clues etched into its aged surface. His voice echoes in the quiet room. These could be Celtic artifacts. His eyes light up with excitement. The Robson house rests in quiet darkness, the stillness of night enveloping its walls. Moonlight paints soft shadows, adding to the serene stillness of the Robson household. The Robson family slumbers peacefully, their breaths a slow, steady rhythm in the quiet. Each breath rises and falls in perfect harmony, a testament to the peaceful night. Bathed in pale moonlight, Mary sleeps, her brow furrowed with unseen torments. In her nightmare, flames rise, hungrily devouring a house. The fire dances with wicked glee, consuming all in its path. Voices chant in the background, their words indistinct and ominous. In the dead of night, Colin's tormented sleep paints a portrait of inner turmoil. Trapped in the throes of a nightmare, Colin thrashes wildly. His brow glistens with a cold sweat. A chilling dream grips Colin, burying him alive in the silent depths of his subconscious. The weight of the earth crushes Colin as his silent screams echo in the suffocating darkness. Leslie's piercing scream shatters the night as he's jolted awake. A figure looms beside his bed, a nightmare made real. The shadowy figure of the hairy man instills heart-stopping terror. Leslie's eyes widen in pure, unadulterated fear. Trapped between reality and nightmare, Leslie is defenseless against the encroaching darkness. Moonlight slices through the gloom of the professor's study, illuminating swirling dust motes. Ancient bookshelves loom, their leather-bound volumes hinting at forgotten knowledge. At the room's heart, an antique desk stands cluttered with papers and strange artifacts. All appears normal, yet a subtle unease permeates the air. Something is amiss. A chair lies askew, a silent testament to a disturbance. A rug is slightly displaced, hinting at a struggle unseen. Under the cloak of night, a lone professor treads down the dimly lit street, his figure elongated by the haunting shadows of ancient buildings. A palpable sense of unease grips the air as the professor casts a nervous glance over his shoulder, his heart pounding with dread. Each footstep echoes in the silence, heightening the feeling of being watched, though the street remains eerily deserted. The professor stops abruptly, his senses on high alert. As the oppressive atmosphere tightens its grip, he strains to pierce the darkness, his breath catching in his throat, yet nothing breaks the veil of mystery. With a shiver, the professor resumes his journey, the feeling of unseen eyes lingering like a phantom touch. The Robsons' living room is filled with unopened boxes, silent witnesses to untold stories. Inside the boxes, shrunken heads lie still, their vacant eyes staring up, unseen and forgotten. Rejected by museums, the shrunken heads return to the Robsons' home, unwanted relics of a distant past. The shrunken heads remain untouched, their silent vigil a haunting reminder of journeys untold. An air of melancholy hangs heavy in the room, as the Robsons' home becomes the final resting place for these peculiar artifacts. Under the cloak of night, Mary kneels in the dirt, a shovel her silent accomplice. Moonlight casts an eerie glow on the shovel, glinting off its surface as Mary prepares her clandestine task. She delicately places the severed heads into the hole. With meticulous care, she ensures each gruesome prize is fully concealed beneath the earth. The dark soil becomes a silent keeper of secrets, burying the evidence of a chilling deed. The morning light unveils a chilling tableau on the doorstep. Severed heads lie grotesquely, earth clinging to their pallid skin. The dark soil is damp, a stark contrast to the horror it cradles. Silence descends, broken only by the grim spectacle of death's brutal display. The Robsons' house becomes a battleground as windows explode inward, signaling chaos. Plates become lethal projectiles, soaring across the kitchen in a violent display. The once familiar kitchen transforms into a scene of destruction and fear. The air crackles with unseen energy as the house seems to turn against its inhabitants. Every shattered piece tells a tale of shattered security as the Robsons' world crumbles. The boys' bedroom is shrouded in darkness, the faint glow of a nightlight barely piercing the gloom. In separate beds, two young boys are huddled, their eyes wide with apprehension. They lie still, their breaths held, straining to catch every whisper in the night. The silence of the room amplifies their fear, every shadow seeming to hold a hidden terror. They listen, their hearts pounding in unison, to the unseen horrors lurking just beyond their blankets. In the dead of night, a menacing silhouette darkens the doorway of the Robsons' living room. Mary's eyes widen in terror as she beholds the hairy man lurking in the shadows. A sinister hand reaches into the room, fingers outstretched, a silent threat hanging in the air. The hairy man advances slowly, his looming presence intensifying the dread. He looms closer, his intentions unknown, the air thick with suspense. His target, the heads. A silent, terrifying mission unfolds. An unsettling silence descends upon the Robsons' living room, heavy and still. The room seems frozen, the air thick with unspoken dread. A chilling revelation echoes in the emptiness. The heads are gone. The absence screams louder than any scream, filling the space with unseen terror. Weeks later, the Robson house stands cloaked in dread, its once bright colors now faded and muted. The air is thick with unspoken fears, the silence amplifying every creak and rustle. Each shadow seems to hold a secret, each corner a silent witness to mounting dread. Outside, the rustling leaves whisper warnings, adding to the family's growing unease. The family within is gripped by an unseen terror, the weight of dread pressing down on them. In the quiet solitude of the researcher's study, an inexplicable phenomenon unfolds. Mysterious heads materialize, casting an eerie shadow over the familiar setting. The researcher is looking intently, trying to unravel the origins of the strange phenomena. An unsettling calm settles over the study as the researcher contemplates the inexplicable arrival. The researcher is surrounded by towering stacks of books and loose papers. A look of utter disbelief spreads across the researcher's face. Their gaze locks onto something unseen, just beyond the edge of the frame. The researcher whispers in stunned disbelief, "I swear, the heads appeared without explanation." The researcher remains frozen, surrounded by books and papers. In the stillness of the present day, a voice resonates with somber echoes, weaving tales of a past long gone. The narrative unfolds, each word a fragment of history carried on the wind. The unspoken words linger, heavy with warnings from beyond. The air vibrates with the weight of untold stories, their essence forever etched into the fabric of time. A rough stone face looms, its expressionless, bulging eyes staring into the abyss. The stone's rough texture accentuates the vacant stare, creating an unsettling stillness. Each groove and imperfection on the stone face tells a silent story of ancient secrets and forgotten horrors. The blank eyes seem to absorb all light, reflecting nothing but an endless, hollow void. The silent stone face stands as a chilling reminder of the unknown, its gaze forever fixed on the unseen. The first severed head appears, clutched in trembling hands amidst the squalor of a war-torn alley, each brick whispering tales of forgotten lives and shattered dreams. Passed on, the head finds itself in the sterile grip of a corrupt surgeon, the cold steel of his operating room reflecting the moral decay that festers within. Now, the head rests in the calloused hands of a gravedigger, the vast expanse of a desolate cemetery stretching out, each tombstone a silent witness to the endless cycle of death and despair. The journey continues as the head is delivered into the delicate hands of a grieving widow, her tear-streaked face a mirror to the endless sorrow that permeates her existence. The head is then thrust into the grimy hands of a black market dealer, his avarice echoing through the shadows of a clandestine bazaar, where fortunes are built on the suffering of others. Finally, the head is presented to a hooded executioner, his eyes cold and devoid of remorse, standing before a gallows that looms ominously against a blood-red sky. Sunlight streams into the Robsons' dusty attic, where young Colin and Leslie venture into the forgotten space. Dust motes dance in the golden light as the children's curiosity pulls them further into the past. Unaware of the secrets hidden beneath the floorboards, they explore deeper, their laughter echoing in the stillness. The attic, a silent witness to history, envelops them in its mysterious embrace. Mist coils eerily across the Celtic burial ground, torchlight dancing upon the ancient stones. Shadowy figures emerge, their dark robes swirling as they chant in an unknown tongue. They circle a stone altar, an unidentifiable object resting ominously upon it. The sounds coming from the throat intensify. The air is filled with old powers and bad premonitions. The torchlight flickers wildly, casting grotesque shadows that dance with the chanting figures. The unidentifiable object on the altar pulses faintly, as if responding to the dark ritual. Mary erupts from sleep in her bed, a scream stifled by the suffocating darkness. Her eyes dart around wildly, struggling to pierce the oppressive gloom. Sweat glistens on her forehead, a testament to the terror gripping her. The grotesque heads of her nightmare linger, fueling her conviction of an ancient evil. She clutches at the sheets, her knuckles white as she grapples with the lingering horror. In the academic's office, unease etches itself onto the archaeologist's face as he delves deeper into the cryptic texts. He pores over the ancient texts, his brow furrowed in concentration. Each symbol seems to whisper secrets, heightening his growing anxiety. He becomes visibly disturbed, the weight of his discoveries pressing heavily upon him. The ancient symbols seem to come alive, casting shadows of doubt across his mind. Beneath a sliver of moon, deep shadows consume the woods near Hexham, where ancient trees guard secrets untold. A shadowy figure emerges from the darkness, its form fleeting, a whisper of the local legend made real. The hairy man vanishes into the black, leaving only the rustling leaves and the beating hearts of those who dare to believe. The woods fall silent once more, the legend retreating into the night, leaving behind an unsettling stillness. The kitchen exists in absolute darkness. Only the faint glow of the microwave clock breaks the silence. Suddenly, the fluorescent lights flicker to life, bathing the room in a sterile, unsettling glow. The refrigerator door swings open with a groan, revealing its brightly illuminated interior. A symphony of mechanical madness erupts as the dishwasher rumbles, the kettle whistles, and the oven glows with menacing heat. In the dead of night, Leslie struggles against the clutches of sleep, her restlessness a stark testament to the unease that consumes her. The atmosphere thickens, the room pressing in on Leslie as if the very walls conspire to trap her within her nightmare. A sinister presence materializes, its dark shadow stretching across the wall, an ominous harbinger of the hairy man. The shadow looms larger, its menacing form growing more distinct, a terrifying specter born from the depths of Leslie's deepest fears. In the quietude of her bedroom, Mary kneels, hands clasped in fervent prayer, seeking solace from unseen forces. Her lips move soundlessly, a desperate plea echoing in the stillness of the night. An unsettling stillness pervades the room, a tangible resistance clinging to the very walls. Shadows deepen and twist, creating grotesque shapes that dance at the periphery of her vision. The Robsons' garden bursts with life, a vibrant testament to nature's beauty. Yet, amidst this flourishing paradise, a patch of earth lies barren and still. The barren earth serves as a haunting reminder of a dark secret buried beneath. The contrast is stark, a silent scream in a symphony of life. Where life should thrive, only emptiness remains, a testament to Mary's actions. The flourishing garden cannot hide the dark truth that festers beneath the surface. In the dimly lit study, the researcher's eyes burn with manic intensity as he grips the iron bar. He strains against the weight, his resolve hardening as he prepares to strike. With a desperate heave, he swings the heavy iron bar down. The heads sit undisturbed, their eerie stillness mocking his frantic efforts. He pants heavily, sweat plastering his hair to his forehead, his breath ragged. A tremor runs through his hands as he raises the bar once more, his determination unyielding. The stone heads stand silent, their eyes locked forward. A subtle shift occurs. The eyes begin to follow. The gaze intensifies, locking onto the viewer. A silent challenge emanates from the stone. The eyes maintain unwavering focus, unblinking. The heads watch, their gaze unwavering. The silence deepens. In the dimly lit living room, shadows stretch and writhe, cloaking the walls in an eerie dance. Mary stands frozen, her face a canvas of fear and desperation as she confronts the oppressive presence of the hairy man. The hairy man looms, a silent monolith of dread, his eyes glinting ominously in the darkness, her voice trembling. Mary pleads, "Please, just leave my family alone. What do you want?" The creature remains silent, its dark eyes fixed intently on Mary, deepening the suffocating tension. A rapid-fire montage begins, faces flashing with raw emotion and rising tension. Rapid cuts, close-ups capture the intense expressions of the heads, each face a canvas of fear and determination. A fleeting glimpse reveals the hairy man, a menacing figure lurking indistinctly in the shadows. The Robson family's faces are etched with terror, their fear palpable and consuming. The montage crescendos, faces blurring into a vortex of escalating dread and uncertainty. Robson's house stands in eerie silence, each corner cloaked in a palpable sense of dread. Sunlight filters weakly through the windows, casting long, distorted shadows that dance like specters across the walls. The air is heavy, stagnant, as if holding its breath, unwilling to disturb the unnerving quiet. The once vibrant home is now settled with unnerving quiet. Each room whispers tales of what once was, now replaced by an unsettling stillness. In Hexham, the townsfolk gather, their whispers weaving tales of the Robsons and the cursed heads. A palpable fear grips the town, etching deep lines of superstition onto every face. Voices hushed, they speak of ancient curses and the ill-fated family, their words heavy with dread. Each shadow seems to whisper the name of Robson, each gust of wind a mournful lament for the cursed. Superstition reigns supreme, binding the town in a collective nightmare from which escape seems impossible. In the hushed darkness, a single spotlight pierces through, isolating the narrator in a pool of light. Their gaze is intense, their expression grave, hinting at the haunting tale about to unfold. The narrator warns with chilling urgency. If you ever see them, do not look into their hollow stares. Their voice drops, a haunting promise echoing in the dim room, because if you do, you will never be alone again. In the quiet Scottish countryside, just outside the town of Dumbarton, there is a bridge that looks like something out of an old fairy tale. The Overtoun Bridge, built in the 1890s from weathered gray stone, arches gracefully over a deep ravine covered in thick green foliage. Ivy clings to its sides, and the air is usually calm, broken only by the sound of leaves rustling and the distant trickle of water far below. At first glance, it feels peaceful, almost romantic, like the perfect place for an afternoon walk. But for decades, the people who live nearby have whispered a warning that chills the blood. Do not bring your dog here unless you are ready to lose it. Since the 1950s, something strange has been happening on this bridge. Perfectly healthy, happy dogs that were running and wagging their tails just moments before suddenly leap off the same side of the bridge at almost exactly the same spot and plunge into the ravine below. Some die instantly on the rocks. Others are injured beyond saving. Stranger still, dogs that survive have been known to scramble back up and try to jump again, as if something is calling them to their death. No one knows exactly how many animals have been lost here. Some say over 600. Others believe the number is much higher, lost in years of unrecorded tragedies. The jumps almost always happen in good weather, never in heavy rain. Most of them occur between the final two parapets on the right-hand side of the bridge, heading toward the old Overtoun house. Scientists have studied the site, trying to understand why. One explanation suggests that the smell of mink or rodents in the thick undergrowth below might attract the dogs. But critics argue this theory cannot explain why the leaps always happen in the same place, in the same direction, and why some dogs seem completely entranced before jumping. Others believe it might be caused by strange acoustic effects, subtle echoes and sound waves bouncing off the stonework in ways that confuse a dog's senses. Another theory suggests the bridge's height and slope distort the animal's depth perception, making the drop appear as solid ground. But among the locals, the explanation is far darker. They say Overtoun is a thin place, a spot where the veil between the living and the dead is at its weakest. Here, they say, strange things can cross over, and animals can sense what we cannot. Some believe the dogs see something or someone standing in the middle of the bridge, beckoning them forward. To human eyes, the bridge looks empty, but to the animals, it might be crowded. The bridge has claimed not only animals, but also human victims. In 1994, a man named Kevin Moy threw his infant son from the bridge, later claiming he believed the child was the Antichrist. He then tried to take his own life by jumping. He survived, but the horror of his act cemented the bridge's reputation as a place of evil. Those who have been there tell unsettling stories. A woman walking her golden retriever on a bright summer day recalled how the dog suddenly froze, then lunged forward toward the parapet with such force she feared he would choke himself on the leash. His eyes were wide and fixed, locked on something she could not see. If she had not been holding him tightly, she was sure he would have jumped. A man visiting from Glasgow was not so fortunate. His collie mix, running off leash, bolted straight to the infamous spot and leapt without hesitation. By the time the man climbed down into the ravine, it was too late. Despite repeated warnings, the bridge has become a grim attraction. Tourists come to see the place for themselves, some even bringing their dogs as if to challenge the legend. Warning signs now stand at each end of the bridge, urging people to keep their pets on a leash. Yet each year, more dogs leap, and no one can explain why. Many visitors report feeling strange sensations when they stand in the notorious spot. Some describe a tingling on their skin, as if from static electricity. Others say the air feels heavier, or that the world around them goes unusually quiet. A few claim to have seen a woman in white standing silently on the bridge, only for her to vanish without a sound. Whether you believe in ghosts or think it is all superstition, the fact remains. Animals keep dying here. The overturned bridge is more than stone and mortar. It is a place where tragedy repeats itself, where beauty hides something that will not let go of its victims. You can cross it on a sunny afternoon, admire the view, and feel nothing. Or you can find yourself frozen in place, a shiver running down your spine, as if something unseen is watching you. And if you bring your dog, you must pray it does not hear the call, because once it does, you might never see it alive again. Cold January night. Owen entered hotel president's lobby. He carried no luggage apart from a small comb, a hairbrush, and toothpaste tucked into his coat pocket. His appearance was unremarkable, yet something about him struck the hotel staff as unusual. He wore a dark coat, his hair was neatly parted, and his eyes seemed strangely hollow, as if burdened by thoughts he could not speak aloud. The man asked for an interior room, one without a window to the street, as though he wished to hide from the outside world. He paid for a single night in cash and signed the register with a steady hand. Roland T. Owen, Los Angeles. The name would later prove false, but at that moment, no one gave it a second thought. The clerk handed him the key to room 1046 on the 10th floor and called a bellboy to escort him upstairs. When the bellboy opened the door, the room was striking in its simplicity. A bed, a chair, a small writing desk, and a single lamp. The air was stale, heavy, with the faint scent of cigarette smoke. The curtains were drawn tightly, and the electric light cast a pale glow over the drab wallpaper. Roland removed his coat, hung it neatly in the closet, and sat silently on the edge of the bed. The bellboy noticed that Roland seemed restless, constantly clenching and unclenching his fists. There was an air of tension about him, as though he were expecting something or someone. The first hint of strangeness came later that evening. The maid, Mary Soptic, entered the room to clean. She found Roland sitting in near darkness, the shades pulled down. He allowed her to tidy up, but insisted she leave the door unlocked when she finished, explaining that he was expecting a visitor. His voice was flat, oddly emotionless, but there was something unsettling in his request. Still, she obeyed, leaving him alone in the gloom. When Mary returned the next morning, the scene was even stranger. Roland sat motionless in the dark once again, with the telephone receiver off the hook, as though he had been speaking to someone or waiting for a call that never came. He told her coldly that she should leave the door unlocked again. She noticed a note on the desk, scrawled in hurried handwriting. Dawn, I will be back in 15 minutes. Wait. The name Dawn would soon become the center of the mystery. Who was Dawn? Why did Roland insist on keeping the door unlocked for him? That same day, a man staying in the neighboring room complained of strange noises, muffled voices, sometimes sharp, sometimes whispering, bleeding through the thin hotel walls. He heard Roland's low tones mixed with another man's deeper voice. At one point, he thought he heard a woman's laughter, faint but distinct. The sounds unsettled him, but he assumed it was merely late-night company. He could not have known that these echoes were the first signs of something terrible brewing in room 1046. That night, witnesses reported seeing Roland wandering the hotel hallways, pacing slowly, as though he were lost in thought or being watched. The night clerk remembered how his eyes darted nervously toward the elevators, scanning every stranger that entered. It was as if he feared someone might appear at any moment. And then, just past midnight, the elevator operator noticed Roland returning to his room, accompanied by a tall, shadowy man in a dark overcoat. The two spoke little, their conversation curt and hushed, but the operator swore there was tension in the air between them. Roland's shoulders slumped, as if weighed down by dread, while the taller man walked with an air of quiet authority. They entered the room, and the door closed behind them. From that point on, room 1046 was no longer just another hotel room. It had become the stage for a chilling mystery, one that would leave investigators baffled for decades. As the clock in the lobby struck 11, 0 p.m. The hotel seemed to hold its breath. Guests had retired to their rooms, and a heavy silence fell over the corridors. But from room 1046 came subtle disturbances that unsettled anyone nearby. The first clue came in the form of repeated phone calls. The hotel operator reported that the room's line had gone off hook multiple times, each time producing only the sound of a shallow, ragged breathing. Occasionally, a faint voice would whisper a single word, incomprehensible, but urgent. Help. The staff assumed perhaps Roland was confused or sleepwalking. But soon, a pattern emerged. These calls happened at regular intervals, every few minutes, and on one occasion, the voice seemed to utter a chilling phrase, "Wait, dawn will come." Meanwhile, other guests began to hear noises emanating from the 10th floor. A woman in room 1048 claimed to have heard a low, malevolent laughter, followed by muffled shouting. Another guest swore he heard a woman screaming. Yet, when the hotel staff went to investigate, room 1046 appeared perfectly normal. Roland was seated in his chair, staring blankly at the wall, and no one else was visible. Mary, the maid, had grown increasingly uneasy. Each time she entered the room, she found Roland sitting motionless, sometimes murmuring to himself, in a voice that was barely human. His behavior became more erratic, pacing, sudden outbursts, and long silences where he seemed to be listening for someone no one else could hear. In the early hours, the elevator operator reported seeing a tall man in a dark coat, moving silently near room 1046. The figure vanished before anyone could approach, leaving only a chilling coldness in the air. Some staff swore the shadow had followed Roland up the hall and then disappeared into the walls themselves. Then came the first true act of violence. At roughly 4:00 a.m., Mary returned to clean and was horrified to find Roland lying on the floor, covered in blood. His body bore deep cuts and bruises, his face pale, and his breathing shallow. The phone receiver was ripped from the wall, and the carpet was soaked in crimson streaks. Roland was barely conscious. When questioned by the police and hotel staff, he could only whisper the words, no one did this. Dawn did it." The confusion deepened. There was no one else in the room when the door had been locked from the inside. The injuries were inconsistent with self-infliction. Something or someone had attacked him in the dark, leaving no evidence except for blood, fear, and a name repeated over and over. Dawn. Paramedics arrived and transported Roland to a nearby hospital, where his condition remained critical. The hotel became a hive of rumors. Had he been attacked by a stranger? Was this a robbery gone wrong? Or was something more sinister at play? After the horrifying events in room 1046, Roland T. Owen was rushed to a nearby hospital. His injuries were severe. Multiple deep cuts across his chest and arms, bruises across his face and skull, and a general appearance of someone who had been in a violent struggle. Doctors worked tirelessly, but his condition remained precarious. While Roland lay in a hospital bed, he occasionally whispered fragments of words, repeating a single, ominous name. Dawn will come. Medical staff were puzzled. No visitor by that name appeared in the hospital records, yet Roland seemed terrified of him. Nurses reported that he would flinch whenever a shadow passed near his bed, even in an empty room. Some claimed that the lights flickered inexplicably when he spoke, casting long, unnatural shadows on the walls. During this period, detectives began to investigate his identity. The man who had registered as Roland T. Owen was impossible to trace. His fingerprints were sent to the FBI, but no match was found. The hotel had no prior record of him, and neighbors claimed not to recognize him. Even his supposed origin, Los Angeles, yielded no leads. It was as if he had appeared out of nowhere, a ghost in flesh. As the hospital staff and detectives tried to piece together his story, more strange events emerged. Several nurses reported hearing low, hurried footsteps outside his room in the middle of the night. Sometimes a faint voice, almost a whisper, would call his name. At other times, the sound of typing or paper shuffling echoed through empty hallways. No one was ever seen. Roland, when awake, told a disjointed story. He insisted that he had been expecting someone, Dawn, but refused to provide further details. He spoke of a woman, Louise, who had tried to help him, but her presence was as mysterious as Dawn's. Staff tried to comfort him, but he became agitated whenever anyone mentioned her name. The public and press quickly became interested in the case. Newspapers ran headlines like, "Mysterious Man Found Bloodied in Kansas City Hotel. Who is Roland T. Owen? No records found. The Strange Case of Room 1046. Mystery deepens." Despite these reports, the truth remained elusive. Roland's hospital room became a place of whispered speculation. Some visitors reported a chilling presence, a sense that the air had grown cold and heavy. Others claimed to see faint figures at the edge of their vision, shadows that disappeared when looked at directly. Then, in a final tragic twist, Roland T. Owen died in the hospital from complications related to his injuries. His last words, barely audible, were, They will find me." Police were left with more questions than answers. Who had attacked him in room 1046? Who was Dawn? Who was Louise? And why had Roland's identity proven completely untraceable? To this day, room 1046 remains infamous. Some claim the room is cursed. Others insist that the shadows and whispers reported by hospital staff were the work of restless spirits connected to the unresolved mystery. Years passed, but the legend of room 1046 never faded. The hotel president eventually changed ownership, yet the stories of strange occurrences persisted. Employees continued to report eerie sensations, cold drafts, unexplained shadows, and the faint echo of footsteps that seemed to follow no one. Guests occasionally whispered about hearing voices coming from the room, even when it was unoccupied. Paranormal investigators, visiting the site in later decades, claimed to record unexplainable sounds on tape-low groans, muffled cries, and whispers calling out the names Dawn and Louise. Thermal cameras detected cold spots where no windows or ventilation existed. Some even swore they saw fleeting figures in the corner of their eyes, figures that vanished when looked at directly. The hotel staff over the years told stories of a mysterious aura that hung over room 1046. Some claimed that objects moved on their own, bed sheets became tangled without explanation, and the room seemed darker than the natural lighting could account for. Guests who stayed there, even briefly, often described a feeling of being watched, a pressure in the chest, or a sudden, unexplained fear. The case files remained in the archives, but police had long since abandoned the search for answers. Roland T. Owen's real identity was never discovered. Dawn, the shadowy figure he feared, and Louise, the enigmatic woman who appeared at his hospital, were never traced. Every lead ended in a dead end, leaving a haunting, unresolved riddle. No one knows if these are echoes of the past or something else entirely. The combination of unsolved murder, mysterious visitors, and unexplained phenomena has cemented room 1046 as a symbol of fear and mystery. Even now, decades later, the story of Roland T. Owen serves as a chilling reminder. Some mysteries remain unsolved, and some shadows linger far longer than the people who cast them. The room's door may be closed, its lights dimmed, but the whispers continue, and those who listen carefully swear they hear the faintest trace of Roland's fear echoing through the walls, forever. Dawn Thomas approaches the wolf pit cautiously, expecting to find a wild beast lurking in the shadows. Instead, a shocking discovery. 2 children huddle in the pit, their skin bearing an eerie, faint green. Thomas's eyes widen in disbelief at the sight of the children, their strange hue unsettling him. The children remain still in the pit, their unusual skin tone a stark contrast against the earth. Thomas leads the green children into the village center, an unsettling procession under the open sky. Villagers gather, their whispers and pointed fingers creating an atmosphere of suspicion and fear. The green children shield their eyes from the sun, their faces etched with confusion and fear. In the heart of the village, the green children's frightened eyes reflect the unknown. Sunlight streams into the rustic village home, illuminating a table laden with offerings. In the corner, the green children cower, their fear palpable as tears stream down their faces. Their sobs echo through the room, a language lost to the villagers. The villagers, a concerned assembly of men and women, watch with worry etched on their faces. Their simple clothing and anxious expressions paint a scene of helpless concern. Agnes enters the garden, her kind face a beacon of warmth. She carries a basket brimming with fresh green bean pods, nature's bounty offered with gentle hands. Hesitant at first, the children cautiously approach, their eyes wide with a mixture of curiosity and hunger. Surprise flickers across Agnes's face as the children eagerly devour the simple offering. Relief washes over Agnes as she watches them enjoy the fresh bounty. A wide smile spreads across Agnes's face, a pure expression of joy. In the quiet study, Father John observes the green children, his expression a blend of intrigue and apprehension. A thoughtful silence fills the room as Father John contemplates how to connect with the enigmatic green children. Father John's mind starts to construct a plan, a subtle shift in his demeanor, suggesting a newfound sense of purpose. A determined glint appears in Father John's eyes, hinting at the beginning of a hopeful endeavor. Months later, sunlight bathes Father John's study, illuminating the green girl's intense concentration. The green girl struggles with the word. A, pa, L, Father John gently corrects her. Almost. Apple. Triumph dawns as she finally masters the sound. Apple. In the corner, the boy watches silently, detached from their world. In the dim light of the priest's study, sunlight paints colorful patterns on the desk, highlighting the solemnity of the moment. Across from him, the green girl, her skin a startling verdant hue, whispers secrets of a hidden realm. The land of St. Martin exists in perpetual twilight. No sun shines there, Father. Her words paint a picture of a world forever veiled in shadow, a stark contrast to the sunlit study. Its inhabitants, we are all green-skinned, and we eat only plants. Nothing else grows there. The green girl's revelation hangs heavy in the air, a tale of a people bound to a strange and sunless land. A twilight realm unfolds, the green country, where strange, verdant flora casts long shadows. Rivers shimmer with an otherworldly glow, cutting through the silent, shadowed lands. Green-skinned figures glide through the twilight, their movements as silent as the land itself. The green country breathes a land of eerie beauty, steeped in an ancient, silent history. In Father John's sun-drenched study, the green girl's pale skin glows eerily. Her soft voice fills the room, painting a surreal tale of distant bells and hidden caverns. Father John listens intently, capturing every word on parchment, his brow furrowed in concentration. She tells of following the sound of a distant bell into a cavern, emerging in Woolpit. Beneath a sky pregnant with secrets, the green children move towards the cavern, drawn by a sound only they can hear. The cavern's mouth yawns open, promising darkness and the unknown. Silence grips them as they venture deeper, the air itself growing heavy with unspoken mystery. Led by an ethereal bell, they are pulled into the heart of the earth. Amidst the night's embrace, a village home becomes the stage for a young boy's struggle against relentless shivers. The unfamiliar surroundings offer no solace, amplifying his distress. In stark contrast, the green girl maintains a vigilant watch, her unwavering gaze a beacon of concern. Her eyes reflect a depth of worry, mirroring the gravity of the boy's plight. The green girl watches the boy, her eyes reflecting deep worry. The village home is filled with a palpable sense of loss, the air thick with unspoken grief. A wave of sorrow sweeps through the gathering as villagers are united in mourning. The green girl cradles the boy's hand, her tears a poignant testament to their bond. Father John stands beside her, his touch a gentle offer of solace amid the desolation. The dim light reflects in the green girl's tear-streaked face, highlighting her profound sorrow. A heavy silence blankets the room, broken only by the soft sounds of suppressed weeping. The village cemetery is silent. The boy rests in the soft earth. The green girl stands alone, her shoulders slumped in profound sorrow. Weathered headstones stand as silent witnesses to her grief. A small group of villagers approaches, their faces etched with sympathy. The villagers stand still, their faces etched with sympathy. Years have passed. The green girl, now known as Martha, blends seamlessly into village life, her transformation complete. Martha toils in the fields alongside the villagers, her actions mirroring their daily rhythm. Her voice now fluent in English. Martha converses effortlessly, yet a haunting distance lingers in her eyes. The sun sets, casting long shadows, as Martha continues her work, seemingly at peace, but forever an enigma. As dusk settles, Martha's gaze drifts towards the horizon, a silent yearning in her eyes, hinting at a world beyond. In the quiet of the evening, Martha's distant look persists, a reminder of her mysterious origins and the secrets she holds. The golden fields stretch endlessly under the sun, where Martha toils beside the villagers, her belonging tinged with a subtle air of detachment. Her movements mirror theirs, yet her spirit seems distant, as if she is not one of them. Martha pauses, head tilting slightly, as she strains to hear the whispers carried by the wind. The wind whispers secrets only she can perceive, a symphony of voices carried on the breeze. She is lost in a world of her own, where the voices of the wind speak of forgotten tales and distant lands. She returns to her labor, her actions mechanical, but her heart still yearns for the echoes she hears on the wind. In the dimly lit room, Martha slumbers restlessly, her dreams haunted by shadows. Visions of the green country fill her mind, a stark contrast to the darkness surrounding her. Faint whispers echo through the night, calling Martha's name with an ethereal urgency. Her eyes snap open, wide with terror, as the whispers intensify. Gasping for air, Martha sits upright, her heart pounding in her chest. A cold sweat drenches her body as the weight of the nightmare settles upon her. Across the wool pit fields, strange lights begin their spectral dance, casting an eerie glow that transforms the familiar landscape into a scene of otherworldly mystery. The dancing lights paint the night with strokes of green, their ethereal glow pulsating as if alive. In the nearby village, curtains twitch as fearful eyes peer out, faces illuminated by the warm, protective glow of their homes. A chorus of hushed whispers rises from the village, a collective murmur of dread as the villagers whisper. "The green country," they say. Within the village home, shadows dance ominously in the fading light, casting long, distorted figures that unsettle the soul. The air hangs thick with unspoken fear, each breath heavy with the weight of dread. Footsteps echo through the wooden structure, their rhythmic tapping a harbinger of unknown terror. The family strains to pierce the darkness, their eyes searching for the source of the encroaching dread, but find only deeper shadows. Unease settles over them like a suffocating blanket, stifling hope and amplifying their vulnerability. Every creak of the house, every rustle in the shadows, tightens the grip of fear, leaving them paralyzed in the face of the unknown. Under a canopy of ancient trees, the night sky is a canvas of black ink as twisted branches reach out like skeletal fingers. An owl's hoot pierces the stillness, a haunting call echoing through the silent woods. At the edge of the woods, villagers stand frozen, their faces reflecting a deep, unsettling unease. From the heart of the woods, an eerie sound drifts children's laughter, innocent yet profoundly disturbing. In the dim light of his study, Father John sits hunched over his desk, the silence broken only by the scratching of his quill. Each stroke of the quill etches Martha's unsettling words deeper into the parchment, each word heavy with foreboding. The flickering candlelight casts dancing shadows across Father John's face, illuminating the worry lines etched deep within. He records the lore of the land of St. Martin, a place shrouded in mystery and whispered fears. The strange events unfolding in Woolpit become a chilling narrative under Father John's hand, each detail adding to his growing unease. With each word committed to parchment, the weight on Father John's soul grows heavier, burdened by the tales he must now bear. In the hallowed halls of the church, sunlight dances through stained glass, casting a divine glow upon Father John, who stands resolute before the watchful church elders. Father John's voice fills the sacred space as he proclaims, "I believe these writings offer a new perspective, a deeper understanding of our faith." Elder One's stern voice cuts through the hopeful atmosphere. "Heresy, John, that's all this is." Elder Two echoes the sentiment, his words laced with concern. "These claims, they will only confuse the people, shake their faith." Elder Three delivers the final blow, his voice firm with conviction. "We cannot allow such radical ideas to spread within our community." In the dim light of his study, Father John sits alone, the weight of disillusionment heavy on his face. Shadows dance across the room, mirroring the turmoil within him. He stares at the journal, hesitating to write, his frustration mounting. The silence of the night amplifies the conflict raging in his soul. Ancient texts watch silently as Father John grapples with his faith. An unsettling silence smothers the village center as the townsfolk gather, fear twisting their faces. Whispers dance through the crowd, each hushed word painting vivid images of the green children. Fear and morbid curiosity entwine as they stare at each other. Despite the church's denial, the village knows the truth. Twilight descends upon the Woolpit fields, casting long, eerie shadows that stretch like grasping fingers across the land. A sense of unease settles as the villager squints, straining to make out a shape in the twilight. A sudden chill grips the villager, a primal fear, unrelated to the evening's cold. A fleeting glimpse of a green figure flickers at the edge of perception, a spectral hint of something uncanny lurking in the fields. In the dead of night, a huddle of villagers clutches lanterns, their faces etched with worry as the wind whispers through the ancient trees. A sudden chilling echo pierces the stillness. "Did you hear that?" The laughter dances on the wind, defying the natural order. Laughter? In these woods? It's not natural. Panic flares as one villager urges immediate escape. "We need to leave, now." In the warm glow of the fireplace, an old villager captivates his grandchildren with tales of mystery. And so, the green children appeared, lost and alone. The old villager recounts, his voice echoing through the room. He continues, "They spoke of a land far away, a place of eternal twilight." The fire crackles, casting shadows as the old villager warns. "But beware, children. Strange voices lure the unwary into the woods," he cautions, his words hanging in the air. His voice lowers as he concludes, "Never follow them, and never enter the woods alone." At the edge of Woolpit, a weathered wooden sign looms, its surface worn by time and the elements. The village name is boldly carved, a stark contrast to the ominous warning etched beneath. "Beware the green echoes." The chilling words hint at unseen dangers lurking within Woolpit. The sign stands as a silent sentinel, guarding secrets hidden in the heart of the village. The weathered wood whispers tales of forgotten lore and ancient mysteries. The unnerving warning promises a journey into the unknown, where shadows dance and echoes linger. In Martha's sun-drenched home, dust motes dance, painting the air with golden light. Martha sits silently, etched with time, a sentinel of memories in her worn armchair. Her gaze drifts, lost in the distant fields, yet her eyes reflect echoes of a world unseen. Martha's eyes soften, reflecting the vivid echoes of memories only she can perceive. In the wool pit fields, the children's laughter dances on the breeze, carefree and bright. They chase each other, their forms weaving through the tall grass, unburdened by the village's eerie secret. They revel in the warmth of the sun. Yet, an almost imperceptible green hue kisses the air, a subtle reminder of the green children's mysterious origin. It lingers, a silent echo of the village's haunting past. Their innocent play continues, unaware of the secrets that the fields hold. In the dimly lit study, Father John meticulously prepares to record the green girl's story. The quill scratches against the parchment as Father John begins to document the green girl's account. Each stroke of the quill captures the essence of the green girl's tale. The study is filled with a soft scratching of the quill as the green girl's story unfolds. Under the watchful gaze of the dim light, the green girl's story slowly takes shape on the parchment. The village well stands as the heart of hushed dread. Villagers gathered, their faces canvases of fear and morbid curiosity. Whispers weave through the crowd, tales of the green children painting the air with unease. Uneasy glances dart around, each villager seeking reassurance in the eyes of another, finding only shared trepidation. The gentle creaking of the well serves as a somber counterpoint to the villagers' muted discussions, amplifying the suspense. Fear mingles with a strange fascination as the villagers contemplate the strange occurrences plaguing their homes. The lines around their eyes and mouths deepen, each wrinkle a testament to the mounting dread gripping the village. In the dimly lit village tavern, a group of men gathers, their faces etched with concern, around a sturdy wooden table. The fire crackles, casting eerie shadows that dance on the walls, amplifying the unease. Tankards clink softly, punctuating hushed whispers of livestock, vanishing without a trace. Worried expressions deepen as the men share their unsettling stories, each tale more perplexing than the last. The warm glow of the fire struggles to dispel the chilling mystery that grips the tavern. At the border of an ancient, unyielding wood, a lone traveler stands, his face a mask of exhaustion and deep confusion. The heavy air, thick with the aroma of damp earth and the ghostly breath of decaying leaves, envelops him. A chorus of faint children's voices rises from the wood's heart, unearthly, sweet, beckoning him in a tongue unknown. The voices lure him, promising solace, daring him to plunge into the oppressive darkness. In the ethereal depths of Martha's dream, she is plunged back into the cavern's heart, the echoes of the bell resonating with increasing intensity. The cavern walls blur as she and her brother are propelled forward, the sound of the bell growing deafening. The light intensifies, blinding, as Martha and her brother are driven towards its source. The bell's clamor reaches a crescendo, enveloping Martha and her brother as the blinding light consumes all. A surge of pure, unadulterated light pierces through, promising either salvation or oblivion. The land of St. Martin unfolds in a dream, a panoramic vista of the green country. An eerie beauty blankets the scene, a silence that captivates and unsettles. The landscape stretches out, its beauty tinged with an unsettling quiet. The silence hangs heavy, amplifying the dream's strange, captivating allure. Within the ancient church, the elders gather, their faces etched with grim determination. Flames rise, hungrily devouring Father John's writings, a symbolic act under the watchful eyes of the church elders. Dancing shadows play across the stone walls, mirroring the turmoil of the moment. The fire crackles, the destruction of knowledge echoing through the hallowed space. Each elder's face reflects a mixture of sorrow and resolve, their decision made. The church stands silent, the weight of their actions hanging heavy in the air. Under the cloak of night, the village cemetery lies in somber silence, overgrown grass whispering secrets of forgotten souls. Drawn by an unseen force, A lone villager ventures into the heart of the cemetery, his face reflecting a mix of trepidation and morbid fascination. He pauses before a simple, unmarked grave, the final resting place of a boy lost too soon, the scent of damp earth heavy in the air. From the depths of the earth, an ethereal green glow begins to stir, a spectral light dancing above the boy's grave. Eerie shadows twist and writhe among the tombstones, as the cemetery transforms into a stage for the unearthly. In the dimly lit room, shadows play across the walls, enveloping Martha in a blanket of solitude and sorrow. She clutches a small, green stone, its worn surface a tangible link to the homeland, and a brother lost to time. Tears stream down Martha's weathered face, each drop a silent testament to a grief that time has failed to heal. The weight of memories and unspoken words hangs heavy in the air, shrouding Martha in her quiet lament. In the tranquil hours of dawn, the fields of Woolpit are veiled in mist, their familiar forms dissolving into an ethereal dreamscape. The landscape transforms into an otherworldly realm, where reality blurs with imagination. The green country awakens, reclaiming its dominion under the misty shroud. The world holds its breath, suspended between night and day, reality and dream. An age-old tale begins to unfold as the land whispers its secrets to those who listen. Inside the village schoolhouse, a hushed symphony of scratching pencils fills the air as children diligently work. Their notebooks come alive, with fantastical drawings of green-skinned figures born from whispered tales and village legends. Imagination takes flight, transforming the ordinary classroom into a realm of mythical beings and ancient folklore. The enduring legend of the village breathes life into every stroke, shaping a world where reality and fantasy intertwine. At the cavern's mouth, teenagers gather, bathed in sunlight that highlights the dancing dust motes, their presence a stark contrast to the cavern's silent darkness. Laughter echoes through the still landscape as they challenge each other, their voices a defiant echo against the unknown. One dares another to venture forth, their eyes gleaming with youthful bravado and a hint of trepidation. They tempt fate with each breath, their carefree spirits unaware of the shadows lurking just beyond the light. The cavern looms, its darkness a silent invitation to test the boundaries of courage and the allure of the unseen. Their laughter fades slightly as the cavern's silence seems to push back, a subtle warning against their youthful exuberance. Sunlight pierces through the aged study, illuminating the historian's cautious entry into a world veiled by time. Dust dances, each particle a silent witness to secrets long buried. The historian carefully opens Father John's diary, its leather cover a map of bygone days. The historian's fingers trace the faded ink, each stroke a delicate dance with forgotten words. The brittle pages whisper tales of unsettling truths, echoing through the silent study. Each word emerges from the past, a haunting echo of secrets yearning to be unveiled. The tranquil fields of Woolpit stretch out, an idyllic facade masking secrets buried deep within. The camera pans across the landscape, lingering on the dense woods where shadows play, hinting at the mysteries hidden beneath the surface. The sun casts long shadows, a subtle reminder of the darkness that lurks, forever altering the fate of the village and its unsuspecting inhabitants. Woolpit remains silent, its beauty a haunting reminder of the events that have irrevocably changed its destiny. The panoramic view fades slowly, leaving the audience to ponder the enigma that will forever shroud Woolpit. The fire crackles, casting shadows across the aged walls of the village elder's home. The village elder sits, his face a map of time, as the firelight dances in his eyes. Across from him, the newcomer watches, his gaze drawn to the flickering flames. The village elder speaks, his voice low. The tale of the green children is not just a story, but a reminder that the veil between our world and others is thin and easily torn. The village elder warns, his voice firm. Respect the boundaries, newcomer. For what crosses over may not always be benevolent. The wolf pit, now a forgotten scar on the land, is consumed by nature's reclamation. The pit stands as a haunting echo of the green children's arrival. The scene whispers tales of a day that irrevocably changed Woolpit's destiny. Nature's embrace softens the harsh edges of a past forever etched in local lore. Sunlight streams into the village archives, where the scent of aged paper fills the air. Amidst the towering shelves, Anna stands surrounded by history, her quest for answers just beginning. Anna's fingers, stained with ink, delicately trace the brittle pages of an ancient tome. Her eyes, reflecting determination, scan the text for a connection between the land of St. Martin and Woolpit. The weight of history rests on her shoulders as Anna seeks to unlock the secrets of the past. Under the inky sky, vast wheat fields sway gently, their stalks whispering secrets to the night. Eerie moonlight unveils intricate crop circles, their mysterious patterns etched into the landscape overnight. Whispers of concerned farmers carry on the wind, their faces etched with worry and speculation. Shadows dance in the moonlight as they point towards the formations, their voices hushed with apprehension. The eerie glow of the moon casts an unsettling pall over the scene, heightening the sense of mystery. The wind whispers through the stalks, carrying with it the weight of unanswered questions and growing unease. The green country unfolds in a vista of rolling hills and boundless sky, a radiant echo of Martha's youthful joy. A tender embrace, a ghost of warmth, lingers in the air. The bustling marketplace bursts with life, a symphony of laughter and the aroma of fresh bread. The carriage rattles to a halt, delivering a weary Martha to the somber gates of Woolpit. Woolpit Manor looms in the distance, a silent sentinel, promising a new life, tinged with uncertainty. The village church stands timeless against the day, its ancient stones whispering tales of old. The church bells begin to toll, their sound reverberating through the air, a haunting reminder of mysteries past. Each peal of the bell echoes the legend of the Green Children, their arrival forever tied to the village's fate. The sound of the bell fills every corner of Woolpit, a constant echo of the unanswered questions surrounding their origin. A lone villager pauses, the tolling bells causing a moment of reflection on the unexplained events of long ago. The bells continue their somber song, each note a haunting echo of a mystery that time can never erase. Sunlight streams through the stained glass, illuminating the confessional as a villager kneels, shrouded in shadows. The villager confesses, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned." The priest listens patiently, his presence a comforting silence behind the screen. The priest gently inquires, "Tell me, my son, what troubles you?" The villager whispers of his unsettling encounter. "I saw something in the woods, Father. A figure, green, like moss and shadow." Conflicted, the villager asks, "Is that a sin, Father? To be curious about what should be left alone?" From high above, Woolpit appears, a small village lost in an endless expanse of wilderness. The landscape stretches out, revealing the village's utter isolation. Ancient forests and rolling hills hint at secrets. The air is still, and the wind whispers through the trees. The wilderness seems to swallow the village. The village is a small island of civilization. Martha stands absorbed, her brow furrowed, as she studies the intricate details of a map of England. Her finger traces a path from Woolpit, a small village, towards the elusive land of St. Martin. The map unfolds before her, a gateway to a land shrouded in myth and uncertainty. Doubt clouds her face, a mixture of hope and trepidation in her eyes. She leans in closer, as if trying to glean secrets from the ancient cartography. At the village gates, a flood of tourists invades Woolpit, their vibrant attire a stark contrast to the village's muted tones. The air vibrates with the excited chatter of visitors, disrupting the serene quiet of Woolpit. The villagers watch the tourists, their expressions reflecting a mix of curiosity and apprehension. The ancient stone gate stands silent witness to the cultural collision, enduring centuries of change. Woolpit absorbs the vibrant intrusion, the excitement, both a disruption and a renewal. Inside the village pub, a haze of ale and wood smoke hangs heavy as weathered locals and bright tourists gather around scarred tables. The age-old debate ignites. Green children? Rubbish. Just a fairy tale to scare the little ones. Another counters. But what if it's true? What if they really did come from another world? Voices rise. Enough. I've heard enough of this nonsense. Let's talk about something real. Like the price of ale. Beneath a sprawling, starlit sky, paranormal investigators prepare for the unknown, their figures small against the vastness of Woolpit fields. Wires snake like veins across the dew-kissed grass, connecting a web of EMF readers, audio recorders, and a thermal camera. Each device hums with anticipation, poised to capture whispers from beyond the veil. The air grows thick with a silent tension, broken only by the quiet pulse of electronic expectation. Investigators huddle, adjusting settings, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of screens, each movement precise and deliberate. In the stillness, every shadow seems to deepen. Every rustle of grass hints at unseen presence. A chronicle of shadows and secrets unfolds within the aged pages of Father John's diary. A crudely drawn figure emerges from the diary's depths, a green-skinned specter radiating menace. The map of St. Martin is marked with cryptic symbols, a sinister cartography. Each circle and symbol tells a story of dread. The diary is a gateway to a world of hidden truths and lurking horrors. Sunlight dapples through the dense woods, casting an ethereal glow upon a hidden clearing. A child wanders into the clearing, drawn by an unusual sight. Kneeling before a strange green plant, the child's curiosity intensifies. The child cautiously reaches out a hand, drawn to the plant's faint, ethereal glow. Within Martha's mind, a kaleidoscope of vibrant colors begins to swirl, hinting at the world within. Fragments of Woolpit emerge, rolling green hills and ancient stone churches flicker into view. Scenes from the green country intermingle lush flora, and mystical creatures dance through vibrant forests. The images morph and blend, revealing a deep, emotional connection between these worlds. The Woolpit Cemetery slumbers under the watchful gaze of the moon, a place of silent stories and solemn memories. In the heart of the cemetery, a single gravestone stands out, a stark reminder of a life cut short. Moonlight dances across the stone, partially revealing an inscription, a whisper from the past. The inscription speaks of a boy, a name etched in stone, a life remembered in silence. The gravestone stands as a silent tribute, a poignant marker of love and loss in the tranquil cemetery. Sunlight bathes the quiet village library, casting a golden glow over rows of ancient books. The librarian, with glasses perched on her nose, pores over ancient texts, lost in forgotten stories. She carefully turns a brittle page, her brow furrowed in concentration as she delves deeper into the history of Woolpit. Intrigue deepens as she jots down notes, drawn further into the mysteries surrounding the legendary green children. Woolpit awakens as the vibrant green of spring breathes life into the ancient land, hinting at nature's rebirth. Summer's sun-drenched gold casts a radiant glow, transforming the village into a picturesque haven of warmth and abundance. Autumn descends, painting the landscape in fiery hues of red and orange as the village prepares for a season of reflection and transformation. Winter blankets Woolpit in pristine white, its timeless legend preserved in the serene stillness of the snow-covered village. The village hall buzzes with trepidation, shadows flickering across the faces of the worried villagers. Oil lamps cast eerie, dancing shadows, painting a canvas of anxiety on the villagers' faces. A makeshift stage looms at the front, a stark focal point amid the simmering tension. Elder Harper, weathered and worn, stands uneasily behind the wooden podium, a figure of solemn responsibility. The weight of the village's fate rests heavily on his shoulders as he braces himself to speak. Under the cloak of night, a group of thrill-seekers gathers at the mouth of a cavern, their anticipation palpable. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, they step into the darkness, their flashlights cutting through the inky black. Deeper they venture, the cavern's mysteries beckoning them into its shadowy embrace. The cavern awaits, its secrets guarded by the darkness and the thrill-seeker's courage. A wave of awe washes over Father John as the green children materialize, their presence filling him with wonder. His face transforms, a palpable trepidation creeping in as the otherworldly energy intensifies around him. The air crackles with an energy not of this world, amplifying the sense of the impossible becoming real. In a moment of profound revelation, Father John stands transfixed, caught between wonder and fear. The wool pit fields extend into the distance, a landscape stripped bare. Golden stubble contrasts starkly with memories of children playing among the wheat. The wind whispers through the empty fields, carrying echoes of laughter and joy. A poignant reminder of life's fleeting beauty lingers in the air. Within Martha's heart, a surreal divide emerges, a realm split into radiant warmth and veiled mystery. One side bursts with the glow of sun-drenched fields, promising joy and boundless freedom. The other is shrouded in a soft, emerald mist, hinting at distant, rolling hills and unknown adventures. A fragile, pulsating wall shimmers between them, a testament to conflicting emotions and unresolved tensions. The wall undulates subtly, its fragile surface reflecting the turbulent depths of Martha's inner world. Woolpit is transformed, draped in a serene blanket of snow. The village rests under a veil of purity, its secrets buried beneath the snow. The heavy snowfall obscures the familiar, enhancing the mystery of the green children. Silent, the village waits, its past and future interwoven with the falling snow. Each snowflake whispers a forgotten tale, as Woolpit slumbers under winter's embrace. The village museum hums with the quiet reverence of history, its glass display a beacon for curious eyes. Age documents and cryptic maps whisper tales of the green children, drawing tourists from distant lands. Sunlight paints the room in ethereal hues, illuminating dust motes that dance like secrets in the air. The glass glints, mirroring the anticipation of those who seek to unravel the legend's mysteries. Each artifact holds a piece of the puzzle, inviting visitors to piece together the enigma of the green children. As the sun begins its descent, Woolpit is bathed in the vibrant hues of twilight, the sky ablaze with fiery colors. The horizon blazes with the last embers of day, painting the fields in radiant shades of orange and deep violet. Shadows lengthen across the landscape, a stark reminder of the encroaching twilight that perpetually grips the land of St. Martin. The world is cloaked in a soft, ethereal glow as the last rays of sunlight kiss the horizon, promising a night of quiet mystery. In the fading light, Woolpit transforms into a realm of shadows, where the boundaries between day and night blur into one. The twilight deepens, casting a spell over the land of St. Martin, where every shadow whispers secrets of the night. In the village church, sunlight pierces through stained glass, casting vibrant hues. A young priest stands at the pulpit, his face earnest with youthful conviction. We gather today not just as villagers, but as a community bound by faith, a faith that shields us from the darkness, a faith that guides us through the trials and tribulations of this world. Let faith be our shield, and let reason be our sword. Rain begins to fall over Woolpit, its touch a promise of cleansing and rebirth. The relentless rain washes away the grime and dust, revealing the hidden beauty of the town. Each drop seems to carry away the old, making way for a fresh start. Woolpit embraces the storm, finding solace and renewal in its cleansing embrace. Martha, with dirt-stained hands and an unwavering smile, plants saplings, nurturing the land's promise. Gathered around Martha, children listen intently, captivated by her tales of the land's rich history. In a town meeting, Martha passionately advocates for the preservation of Green Country's irreplaceable natural beauty. Amid a community celebration, Martha's laughter resonates, embodying the enduring spirit of Green Country. Under the spectral gaze of the full moon, Woolpit rests in hushed anticipation, its ancient fields bathed in an otherworldly glow. The air hums with an untold story, the legend of the green children woven into the very essence of the land. An ethereal light blankets Woolpit, each shadow whispering tales of the past. The village is steeped in legend, the echoes of the green children lingering in the tranquil night. The landscape is permanently marked by the enduring legend, a testament to a tale woven into the heart of Woolpit. At the border of Woolpit, a child stands poised, their silhouette stark against the looming woods. The woods beckon with whispers of distant laughter, barely audible, yet undeniably present. A subtle curiosity flickers across the child's face, mingling with an undercurrent of apprehension. Drawn by the faint laughter, the child's unreadable expression hints at an internal struggle. The woods seem to breathe, their depths concealing secrets only the brave or the foolhardy dare uncover.